It is 11 o'clock. Welcome back in. This is Three Man Front on Jocks. Appreciate you tuning us in. Very excited because each and every Wednesday at this time, brought to you by Crane Works, we get an opportunity to catch up with the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Chris Stewart.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Crane Works, Rental Works, yeah, the big dog's got it.
Crimson Tide Network's Chris Stewart on Three Man Front is brought to you by Crane Works. Lift it, buy it, rent it. The big dog's got it. And now, Chris Stewart.
Chris joins us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Chris, I hope the summer has been nice and cool for you.
About like it has for you and everybody else, brother. No, it's incredibly hot, almost unbearable, which can only mean we're 2 weeks away from the start of the season.
There's no doubt about that. I guess you probably did a lot of golfing with your son over the summer. Do I catch that right? Probably.
You probably would be a good way to describe it. We had a lot of fun. It's special to get to have that time with him, and especially in my backyard. Literally, I live right here by Bent Brook, so get him over, and we're playing a good bit. But he is back in school now, and so that's the priority. But we do have high school golf tryouts coming up soon, so he'll be trying to make that varsity. So hopefully it'll go well.
Chris, as you start preparing for the college football season for the Alabama Crimson Tide right now through the developments, reports, and people that you talk to through a couple of weeks of camps, a couple of scrimmages in the books, what is your expectation right now, at least for week one, as far as the offense? And we know that Ty Simpson is going to be the starting quarterback, but just as a whole, kind of a 30,000-foot view.
Yeah, guys, we talk about it every year. You got to be good to be in the conversation at the start of the year. You got to be great to be in the mix late. You got to be lucky if you're going to win it all. I think this team's obviously really good because they're in the conversation right now. They got a chance to be great, and with some luck, then they can win it all. I think they are that talented. Breaks don't always mean injuries or lack thereof, but it can be timing. Certainly never ideal to have your top returning running back banged up and in a spot where he's going to miss some time, but much better to have it now than later. And so, I am thankful that it's apparently not a season-ending type deal and that we're going to see him back, and thankful that there's depth behind it. I think also having it 2 weeks out from the opener, it gives I'm just throwing a name, and that I don't want anybody reading anything into this because I'm not trying to give any code or anything. I'm just thinking if I'm a young man like AK Deer, who is probably 4th, 5th on the depth chart, and then there's an injury, he's not happy that a teammate's gone down. But now I'm going, you know what? There's even more urgency for me to pick up everything that I need to pick up and to go in with a mindset that I'm a snap away, because he probably is now. I mean, he's up in the rotation, and he's just an example of what they have available to them from a depth standpoint. And I think it gets those guys better prepared quicker, more reps for those guys. And I think it's a thing that frankly can make you better later in the year if you can weather the storm early that comes with not having one of your top ball carriers available.
Chris Stewart joins us, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, brought to you each week by Crane Works. Chris, let's talk about the quarterback position. Ty Simpson was named the starting quarterback. Not that shocks a lot of us, but just your impressions of being around the football team, the people you talk to. You've seen Ty Simpson in person. I know it's been in mop-up roles, but just the individual himself, what can you tell us about Ty Simpson being QB1?
I think he fits the system and what they want to do offensively. I think there's also certainly excitement about what's behind him. But I think it's great for the team that he won the position, because he is the veteran. He is the guy that's been there. I'm happy to see a guy who sticks it out in this day and age get rewarded and have success and get an opportunity and make the most of it. But at the same time, knowing what's behind him, he's going to be pushed all throughout, not just the start of camp as he has, but within the season as well. There's pressure on him to develop and be the best he can be. At the same time, if something doesn't go right, you have capable guys behind him, guys that just about anybody in the country would love to have on their roster, and that I know Coach DeBoer, Coach Grubb are excited about as far as the future, whether you're talking about Austin Mack or you're talking about a quarterback behind him who everybody really won. Elon Russell is ultra talented and is going to be great when his opportunity comes. The beauty of it, and I said it at an event this morning, the fact that he doesn't have to be the guy day one is huge for him, but also for this team. Because normally when guys come in as highly rated as he was, you hand him the ball day one and it's yours. And you have to live and die with the ups and downs that can come with a guy who is as young as he is. But the fact that you don't have to roll him out there as QB1 in Doak Campbell Stadium is a huge plus for Alabama, but also for him and his development going forward.
Voice of the Crimson Tide, Chris Stewart, joining us courtesy of Craneworks on the Higginbotham Hotline. You mentioned Ryan Grubb. How much variance do you think we see in a Ryan Grubb, Ty Simpson offense than what we saw last year with Jalen Milroe and obviously Coach Sheridan calling plays?
Yeah, and here's the thing. I think it will be very different. More depth at wideout, more experience at wideout. That is the benefit to the quarterback that Jalen didn't necessarily have, and that whoever lines up at QB now is going to have the advantage. A chance to run their system, which is truly a Kalen DeBoer system that he wants to run offensively. I think while, yes, we had the change to his offense, there were still things you had to adapt to take advantage of your best weapon, who was clearly Jalen Milroe. But you're not necessarily running exactly what you want to run the way you want to run it. And you have to make that adaptation in year one when you're trying to take what you've got, take who you are, and find a way to blend the two. Now that you've got a year under your belt, you can run more of what you truly want to run. And I think with the weapons that are around Ty, that's going to help, which frankly has nothing to do with pros or cons as it relates to Nick Sheridan. But obviously with a marriage of the things we're talking about in terms of returning experience, talent, a better fit, but also an assistant coach, an offensive coordinator who has such a lengthy background and successful background with Coach DeBoer. I can't help but think about what it speaks to Coach Sheridan, though, that there was not only a place for him, but a vital role for him, and the fact that he believes enough in Coach DeBoer first and foremost, but also in Ryan Grubb, that he was willing to stay and be a part of this, even though what's perceived to be a demotion for him.
Chris, I'm not proclaiming that the defense this year is going to look like the 1992 defense, but there is a lot of momentum. A lot of people are fired up about Kane Womack's defensive unit this year with a year under the belt of a lot of guys in the secondary. Just your 30,000-foot view of this defensive unit and how special it potentially could be.
Yeah, look, we saw it improve over the course of the year last year, despite some injuries that resulted in it being a little bit thinner than you'd like, or a lot thinner than you would like for it to be. There was definitely improvement. It's the same as what we're talking on the offensive side with familiarity, understanding. There's quite a change. I was around Braylon Hubbard the other day at an event, and and asked him the question point blank, how different is it running what Coach Womack wants run as opposed to what Coach Saban wanted with his defense? And he said, it's massive. He said, in terms of the scheme. And so there was the learning curve involved there, but also just having more guys. And look, you saw Malachi Moore before I did because you covered him in high school. We know what a player he is and what a loss that is. But with, the whole strength in numbers deal, I think we've got that now in the back half of the defense. The front half, understanding more of what they want done. Plus, you got veterans, like Tim Keenan, kind of leading the charge on that front. A lot of talented guys, but more of them than we had 12 months ago. And with everybody having a better understanding of what needs to be done and more guys available to you, I can't help but think, especially long term, as we go through a full, tough grind of the season, that the situation's going to be much better, and we'll be in a much better position come playoff time than we were a year ago.
How surprised are you, Chris, that you're going to be calling another game coached by Gus Malzahn, but as an OC this time?
I had no clue where you were going until I heard Gus Malzahn. I thought you were just going to quit with how shocked are you that you're getting to call another game? And I would say tremendously so. No, I mean, it is, I will say this, and I can't remember which of, I think it was Corey Reamer that made the comment the other night when he was sitting in on Hey Coach with me. He said, I'm so thankful we're catching this guy early rather than late, because they're still trying to figure everything out, or you hope they are, there in Tallahassee, because as he goes through the year is when he starts to have more of the bag of tricks he can go to. And as we know, he was as successful as anybody was, probably more so against Coach Saban in scheming for him and coming up with ways to move the football and do some amazing things. Those things do take time, and it's better to catch somebody like that early than late. That being said, I have no doubt that they will have a team, especially early in the game, will have a chance to move the football. How many times did Nick say? I can't tell you how many times I sat down with him to do his TV show afterwards, and an offense would score on the first drive, cut through us like a hot knife through butter. And he would say, well, as is typical, they ran stuff that we hadn't seen all year from them. It's stuff that they've never done, caught us off guard, and until we could make the adjustments and get settled down, we kind of had to weather the storm. Well, there's probably going to be an element of that, but I still think overall Florida State won't be as good at running what he wants run until later in the year. So hopefully that kind of evens out. It makes it where frankly, just the better team wins. And I believe going in, Alabama's the better team, but we're going to find out in a week and a half down at Doak Campbell.
We will spend a lot more time, obviously, next Wednesday previewing that matchup between Alabama and Florida State. But, Chris, we're ecstatic that you are back for another season here on Three Man Front, and it's made possible by our good friends at Craneworks.
Yeah, David Upton and Craneworks have been, I know, a big part of your show for years, and thankful that they've given me the opportunity to kind of represent them with you each week. We know Craneworks is the most trusted name for crane and equipment rental in the Southeast. It's well over 35 years or 30 years now that they've been doing that. They got a fleet of cranes ranging from 2.5 tons to 500. They also offer trained and certified operators and make sure the job is done right. They've got locations throughout the Southeast, Birmingham, Nashville, Mobile, and now in Huntsville as well. You can go online to learn more at craneworks.com.
That is Chris Stewart. Chris, welcome back to the show. We look forward to catching up next week as we will be game week for Alabama and Florida State. Have a good rest of your, I guess, the final weekend off for a while, so enjoy it.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much.
That's Chris Stewart joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Our friends at the Finnick want to remind you there's no better place in town to enjoy sports and music than right there at the Finnick. It's near Railroad Park. The Finnick's your front row seat for the best entertainment. They got massive screens, explosive sounds from every seat in the house. The experience is bigger, brighter, and bolder. Their new restaurant menu, it's certainly worth cheering for. It's got wings that win MVPs and wood-fired grilled burgers stacked like your favorite fantasy team. Steak's so good, you're going to forget there's a game on. And top it off with delicious salads, fresh seafood, and a large selection of Finnick beverages. The Finnick's new 6-day schedule includes live acoustic music beginning tonight. It's Wednesday through Friday from 5:30 to 8, followed by live bands 10 o'clock on Fridays. Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays, all dedicated to sports. No live music to get in the way. We're going to see you at the Finnick this football season. Can't wait to see you there. 1630 2nd Avenue South near Railroad Park.
Coming up on the program, a good friend of the show, someone that you're going to hear every Friday talking high school football, Kyle Parmalee, is going to join us right here on Three Man Front.